Okay, so I'm Danny Grimm again, and today I'm here with Lindsay. Lindsay is a trick dog in training. But she does know a couple of tricks, and what we're going to be using Lindsay to teach today is I'm going to show you how to teach shake, or give me your paw, as well as take a bow. She knows where the treats are, which you may not have those. She's highly food motivated, in case you couldn't tell, which is very useful when you're training a trick dog. So, we're going to start off with teaching how to shake. Now, generally speaking, I love using clickers for trick training because it really just gives the clearest mark of, yes, you did this right, this is exactly when you did it right, and it's much easier and much clearer than just a verbal reward marker as like yes or good job or anything like that. And as you see, she's already trying to give me her paw because she likes to bat with her paws, which made teaching this trick very easy. Not all dogs will be as forthgoing with their paw to try to bat your hand. You'll see why we need that in a second. But there are ways that you can entice them to do it. So, she offers me the behavior. So we have a treat, and what we're going to do in order to teach paw is we're going to let them know that we have the treat. Maybe put it just a little bit, you probably can't see it in my hand, but it's poking up just a little bit so you just barely can't get to it. But it's really important for them to be able to sniff it and know that it's there. And then we're just going to let her sit here and try to get to it. As soon as the paw comes up and touches my hand, that's when I click and treat. I'm going to see if I can get her to do it with her other paw so you can see it a little bit better, because she is tiny. Let's move this way. So again, as soon as she gives me a paw, I click and then I give her the treat. Like I said, she's easy, she's very pawsy. She likes to use her paws on things. Sometimes you'll have a dog that isn't like that, so what you can do is you move it around, get her to try to hit it. As you see, she's getting very excited. Make a game out of it. As soon as she touches her paw to your hand, you click and treat. If that still is not working, last resort is for you to touch your hand to their paw and click and treat and start to shape the behavior that way. Pretty soon they'll figure out that once their paw touches your hand or vice versa, that's when you click and treat. If they're highly food motivated like Lindsay is here, they will start to offer that behavior because once they figure out that it's your hand touching their paw that indicates a click and reward, they're going to try to make that happen because they want the treat. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, just how you teach shake. Again, we have her, and eventually you phase this out. You put a word to it after about 3 or 4 training sessions. You want to put a word to it. I use paw. So, and what the behavior will look like: sit, sit, paw. That was cheating. That was pretty good though. Paw, paw. Good girl. Just like that. And they'll offer you their paw. It takes quite a few sessions. Paw is one of the easier ones to train. It does take a few sessions to, really make sure that they can do it on cue. Again, just like with any behavior that you're asking them to do, you occasionally do want to ask them to do it without the lure, see what happens. Doesn't do it. And just ask for the cue after maybe the 4th or 5th training session on something. Again, 5 to 10 minutes on each behavior. And you can do that throughout the day, 5, 6, 7 times a day. That's not a problem. It's just any more than about 10 minutes on any one behavior, it gets boring. And we don't want to be boring, do we? Thank you. So then secondly, what Lindsay is also going to help us learn is how to take a bow. And again, I really like using a clicker for this behavior because it really helps to be able to mark the behavior. Now, one thing that you can do with a bow, and because she likes to do that position where she'll arch her back down and stick her butt up in the air, you can always mark that when they do it, and eventually over time they'll figure it out. it's not that effective to do it that way. It can take a very long time before they're finally putting two and two together. That when I stretch like this, that's when I click and get a treat. And you always have to be on top of it because you have to have that clicker on you at all times. And it's just not as effective. So it's much better if we can lure them into the positions. Come here, Lindsay, come here. Lindsay. Oh, she's very excited. She's, here, come over here. Good. So pretty much that was very fast. But what we're going to do, because she got into the position so fast, ignore. So what we're going to do is I want her to stand. And pretty much I want her to, we have the cookie. And she might be too fast for this. But, stand, come on. She's getting much too, and this is her in her play mode. We want to push back on them a little bit, push down. And when she's in the position, we click, and I had my clicker backwards that time. So, and I'm not letting her actually get the treat if she's not in the actual position that she's supposed to be in. So, let's face this way. And this is actually her first training session with Bow, so I have not started to introduce a word. Again, the third or fourth training session is when I'm going to actually start introducing a word to it. Right now she's just trying to figure out what the heck do I want and how the heck does she get this cookie. Come on, stand. Stand. And it's important to be very patient with them, because all she wants is this cookie. She's trying to figure out what she has to do in order to get it, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to help her out a little bit. And occasionally you can do this, where you stick your hand underneath. If you have a dog that's being like Lindsay, that just wants to lay down, can't quite figure it out, is too excited, you can, you're excited. You can stick your hand underneath, your arm underneath, just like this. Oh, thank you for those kisses. I would recommend putting your clicker in the hand that's underneath, just like that. And then you have the treat. You're going to lower her down and click and treat when she's in the proper position. It does happen on occasion that you'll have the dog that will bat at your hand. Just wait. Be patient. You know, they don't get clicked and rewarded for that. They get the click and reward only when they're in the proper position. Eventually they will follow your hand and get into that position. Sometimes what you may have to do is you may have to shape the behavior, shape it so that when they start to go back a little bit, that's when you click and treat, and then you get them to go back a little bit more and a little bit more and down a little bit and down a little bit more. Some dogs, that's just what you have to do. It just kind of depends on the dog. Lindsay being so small, she doesn't have very far to go. So, and she's very excited too.